Coming up in this episode of Coaster News, I talk about Tomorrowland Speedway that's just reopened at Walt Disney World, as well as Thorpe Park celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. All this and so much more. It's Sunday the 26th of May 2019, and this is Coaster News. Hello and welcome to Coaster News, a weekly news show where we cover all things happening in literally every single theme park or amusement park in the world. Sorry I was a bit late this week. This was supposed to be uploaded yesterday on Saturday. However, I was at Alton Towers yesterday and it was amazing. So this week I've actually got a lot of quite latest news actually. So let's get right into news. First off, Tomorrowland Speedway at Walt Disney World in America reopens for the Tron Light Cycle roller coaster. It was closed for quite a bit of time. It was the track was being modified because up until now, some of the track was on the site of where Tron is being built, and so they had to close it for I think a few months. And yeah, I think they reopened it a couple of days ago. And now the track layout is completely different compared to last time. It's like a car ride in the themed land called Tomorrowland, similar to Flamingo One at Flamingo Land. So yeah, that was Tomorrowland Speedway reopening at Walt Disney World. Next up then, Legoland Windsor have announced they'd be selling a new set in the Big Shop, which is basically a set of Legoland Windsor itself. Although on the entrance of the set, it does say it is at Legoland Billund, it will be sold in Legoland Windsor in the Big Shop, and it won't be installed in any other Lego stores outside of Legoland. So you can see on picture right on screen now, it has the Dragon Coaster, the entrance of the park, the ticket office, and various other attractions. I don't know how much this is going to cost, but it's probably going to be very expensive. It's probably the first of its kind since those Lego sets that Lego did of theme park rides, like the big roller coaster set that they did, which is £300. That's how much it costs. So yeah, that's the new Legoland sets being sold in the Legoland Windsor Big Shop. What do you think of it? I personally think it looks great. So yeah, that's it for the Legoland Windsor Legoland set. Up next then, we talk about Zadra at Energylandia, the massive construction update going on there. Basically, what happened is they got the highest point of the ride, lift, hill and drop, basically complete. They just have to put in the track and then of the ride, and then it's that as well as other supports that shape the ride, and then it's ready for opening. And they managed to do that quite quickly, despite the fact that the structure collapsed due to wind about a month ago. Progress is already going really good. So as you can see here on screen, so far it looks you might think it's like a picture of Goliath at one of the Six Flags parks being built, but no, they're taking a similar approach to that ride with mostly no wood underneath the lift hill. The ride will be 200.1 feet tall, which up until the RMC Quasi opens in Busch Gardens, Tampa, it will be the second tallest RMC hybrid in the world until RMC Quasi opens, then it will be the third tallest, because currently the tallest is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point with a height of 205 feet. So yeah, that's just a quick update of Zadra at Energylandia. Up next then, Thorpe Park is celebrating its 40th anniversary this weekend. I'm actually surprised it managed to last this long. It's just 1 year off of being 39, because that's how old Alton Towers is currently. And they've had quite a lot of history, in the 1980s they built Flying Fish, which is now in front of where the Swarm would be one day. Then in 1996 they opened X, which is now The Walking Dead The Ride. And then in 2002 they opened Colossus, which was the world's first 10-looping roller coaster and had the most loops in the world until the Smiler opened. And then the next year they opened Nemesis Inferno at Fort Park, which is a B&M inverted coaster, massive thing. And then like 3 years later they opened Stealth, which is like the second tallest coaster in the UK with a top height of 205 feet. And then 3 years later they opened Soar the Ride, which up until Mumbo Jumbo opened at Flamingo Land, it was the steepest roller coaster in the world. And then in 2012 they opened the Swarm, which was the second B&M wing coaster in the world and the first one to have a dive drop. And then 2018 they rethemed X to The Walking Dead The Ride. So yeah, Fort Park have had quite a lot of history, but they still haven't got a new coaster since the Swarm. Although next year or the year after they might be getting like an RMC ground up coaster or a GCI Woody or even a B&M hypercoaster, maybe even taller than Big One. So yeah, that's basically Fort Park's 40th anniversary updates. We'll see what happens in the coming months because they announced a few months ago they will be removing Loggers Leap. We'll see if they start construction on the site of where Loggers Leap is, or if they start construction on the island behind the Swarm. And finally, a new themed land has been announced for SeaWorld Gold Coast, Australia. It's like called Atlantis, themed to Atlantis thing, and it's basically going to open in phases. It's massive. So first off, a top spin ride called Vortex, which will open in December 2019, which is like a top spin with a blue colour scheme, which is actually quite unique because I've not seen anything like this. We have Ramesses Revenge at Chessington World of Adventures, which is like greyish, and we had up until like 2016 we had Ripsaw at Alton Towers, which was like a beige-ish colour. But this December we're going to get like Vortex, which has a blue colour scheme. And then in April 2020 they will open Trident, which is basically like one of those big spinny rides like the Orlando Starflyer, which is the world's tallest Starflyer type ride at a top height of 450 feet. But it won't be nearly as tall as that. I think it will be more than half that height. Less than that, I mean. Basically, it'll be like probably 180 foot tall. And then last but not least, we have a Gravity Group One coaster called Leviathan, opening December 2020. Nope, it's not to be confused with the B&M Giga Coaster at Kings Island. This Leviathan One roller coaster looks amazing. I would definitely ride this. Gravity Group are manufacturing it and opening 2020. I'm surprised the whole land isn't opening all at once. Although it's like opening phases probably for a reason. Probably because one of the rides are going to take longer than the other, like especially Leviathan, which is probably going to take the longest out of all of them. So basically, Vortex Phase 1 will open in like a few months' time, December, and then Trident will open in about 11 months, under a year, and Leviathan will open in about a year. So yeah, that's the whole new themed land coming to SeaWorld Gold Coast, Australia. And that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. Make sure to tune in for next week's episode where we cover a whole load of new news. Bye!